Good morning. It's, I think, maybe close to 9:30. I don't know what the temperature is, but I know it's warm because I've been sweating already. It's supposed to get up to 90 degrees today. We've had a lot of wind, expecting more wind this week. The temperature's supposed to drop a little bit, go into the 80s, I think. Um, And so I'm trying to protect the baby plants that I've planted, and I've got some progress on the yard. I planted a dark mahogany hibiscus here. Don't know that it'll do real well because it needs sun, and this is in the shade, but we shall see. I really have them as holding. I planted one in this pot too. In fact, the other day it took me several hours because I had to get tree roots out of these pots, both of them. And they were big tree roots. In fact, I'll show one because it's kind of interesting. But I think I did that on either Saturday or Friday, these two pots. Put new dirt in them, put these plants in them, and basically I don't know that they're going to stay there, but I needed to start transplanting the baby somewhere. This week I'm supposed to get my, I think it's called Japanese holly plants that I'm going to be putting in this bed, so we probably need to get the water taken care of and get this going. I still need to move one more oleander. I've decided I'm going to move it up on the hill there. This is really pretty. That's the best shaped lantana we've got right now. It's really cute. Doesn't have any flowers on it yet, but it sure is pretty. Like it. Don't know what's happened to the situation over here. It's like this calibrachoa looks very dry, and yet it's getting the water it's supposed to, but maybe it's not getting enough for this time of year. I think I want to take those petunias out of there. I'd like to put cinnamon basil in there, just because I love the smell of it. I'm getting ready over here to put soil into my pots, and I'm gonna probably, because this is shady as well, I'm probably gonna plant coleus over here, and then maybe some cinnamon basil as a background thing. The pomegranate tree is got shot up. It's hard to see because of the tree being in the way, but it's put some growth on. It's pretty. So, let's see. That that plant there I need to pull out at some point. This is getting a reno. We're gonna pull the plants that are in this pot right now, and I'm gonna plant a dark mahogany hibiscus in here with some white silver petunias all around it. I think it'll be really striking if it turns out. So I've got to be moving these Tropicanas somewhere and this lantana, and I don't know exactly where I'm putting it yet. I started putting some new soil around the bridge, the old fountain, because I do have some pincushion flowers that I want to plant all around it. they flower during the summer, so I kind of like to stick them in between these armeria. Let's see. Oh, the little calibrachoa started to bloom. It's got 2 little blooms on it. It's coming back. I'm going to pull these out and put basil in here, but I got to move these to other pots because I want to save them. Oh, this is kind of pretty too. Well, they look kind of dry today, but they are really pretty. Cilantro, that's what that plant is. Boy, my mind went blank this morning on it. Anyway, I want to pull that cilantro out of here. But the bees have enjoyed it so much, I've kind of let it go. But the wind is wreaking havoc on these plants. I started pinching back this and trimming it a little bit to see if maybe I can maintain a petunia. That's part of, you can see there's a wind took that out. That's part of the problem is I am not real good at maintaining petunias, but I'm going to try to learn this year. There's the dead nettles, and I'm going to plant evening primrose, I think, where I didn't get a good propagation. So I'm going to put evening primrose in here and see if it'll kind of take over. Let's see. My lilies have come up. Lots of lilies right now. No flowers yet, but there will be. And then my gladiolas have started sprouting up. All of these along the front, like even that. Got lots of gladiolas coming up. So, kind of pleased about that. I haven't moved that gazania yet, but I'm intending to. It's going to go in that blank spot right there, part of it. Then I think the reason I hadn't moved it is because I didn't, it's a huge plant and it's not all going in that one location. So I want to divide it up. And when I divide it up, I need to know where I'm going to put it. And I decided I'm going to take it out front because it stays low to the ground, so I can put it along the walkway out front, and I think it'll do really pretty. So we've continued cleaning up the rocks and getting rid of a lot of the pots, the fabric pots. I planted my tomatillos. So in the tomato cages here, I've got tomatillos. And then over against the side, that big plant there is a spaghetti squash. It's already attached itself to the tomato cage. And then this here is a Space Master 80 cucumber, and so is that one. So I got 2 cukes in here. Oops, I almost fell off this step. 2 cukes, 6 tomatillos, and a spaghetti squash. And I might put something in the center here because as these tomatillos get big, maybe I can put something in the center that would like having some protection from the tomatillos. I covered all my cages with some saran to kind of protect them, the wind from some of the baby plants. This is a pumpkin, and if it works right, I'm gonna just let it trail all over the ground up here. That's my plan with that pumpkin anyway. I got a spaghetti squash. I want to climb this trellis, one here. This is a bush scallop, and I think it's kind of protected because of this upper raised bed. So it's a little protected from the wind, so I didn't give it a cage. Then I have a Space Master cuke in here. I wanted to protect that baby. And then that's already attached to the trellis. So I feel good when they've kind of taken their tentacles and reached out to the trellis, because it means that maybe they'll protect themselves from the wind. My rue is blooming. These are aronia berries, and they've finally gotten some green on them. My goji berries in those pots down there are doing well. I'm gonna stick a zucchini down in here amongst these bushes, kind of tuck it away and see what happens, kind of like this artichoke is tucked away here. I gotta get some of my arugula out of my strawberry bed. Let's see the bees. Have to compete with the landscaping. Okay, so that's a spaghetti squash, and I've got it kind of protected a little bit. This is a lemon squash. They're supposed to trail, so I hope I can get it to go up this arch a little bit, and because it's got little tiny, the squash are the size of lemons, I think that it won't be too heavy for this little arch. That's my rationale for putting it there. I had some okra sprouts. There's a tomato in there too. There's a lot of tithonia coming up in here. I planted this little guy. He was a transplant. The zucchini are doing well here, I guess. That's a Kajari melon here, and one on the other side, right there. So hopefully that'll climb up the obelisk. On this side, I planted a butternut squash so that it goes up this obelisk. There's some beans that are sprouting back in there. I think the peppers are all doing well, but we've had like really severe winds, so that's kind of why I've kept them covered. Although I don't know how much this is actually helping them anymore. There's some arugula. I think these are kabocha squash, and some midget cantaloupe and stuff like that. I need to go and look. All of the little seedlings are tithonia. This here is another lemon squash. There's a volunteer tomato there. This is tithonia back there. Here's a lemon squash. And one thing I did read about lemon squash is they don't like their roots disturbed. So you see this one kind of looks like it might be struggling, and it could be because of the way I transplanted it. That's a spaghetti squash. The tomatoes have had at least a week now to get used to their new homes. This is all purple, long purple eggplant, and one Turkish orange one. And the Turkish orange one is this one right here. All the rest are long purple. And I got to get those covered today too. They're going to be, what I've tried to do this year that's different is make like anchor plants, I call them. So my big plants are now all in place, and then I'm going to fill in. I'm going to try to go heavier on my plantings this year than I have in the past. These are tomatoes that have had a week to get used to their environment. My greens bed has gone crazy. This is a salad mix in the center here. I'm going to pick some of that. The tatsoi has bolted, but this is really impressive. This is Japanese giant red, and it's so pretty. I love it. I planted a large cherry tomato seed in where I lost a tomato. That's my purple Russian, and then there's aroma in here, and since it's kind of a baby, I put some saran around it. This one's a little bit more upright and stable, so I'm going to pull all this stuff out. And then this is a lemon squash too, and like I say, it trails, so I'm going to it's just protected from the wind right now, and I'll probably let it spill over the sides and wherever it wants to go in this corner. And I think I'm going to I have one more Space Master 80 cucumber that I'll probably put in this bed. And then I've had all of these gladiolas that were in here that I thought I got all the bulbs out, but obviously not. So I've been watering this periodically, and I might continue to do that. I don't know. I planted this nasturtium here, took out the ornamental kale. I think I've shown everything. I'm going to be doing some work in the front yard too, but that's my garden diary.